Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is so very special. We're going to talk about the newest release from Gourmande Girls, and this is their Gourmandises palette. Gourmandises palette. This palette launches on August 12th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it retails for $45. $44.99, $45, and you can use the code Smithy Sony to save you 10% off. This is how the sleeve look. The palette exactly has the same art cover, which is amazing, and everything is like written on the back, so if you lose on the sleeve, you're not missing out on anything. It has a shelf life of 12 months and it is vegan and cruelty free. Let me show you the inside of the palette, because as you can see, it is going to be a pastel theme, but I love that they included some deeper tones too. You have pastels, you have mid-tones, you have deeper tones to play with, and they've included 4 beautiful shimmers, out of which there are 3 duochromes and 1 holochrome, and 12 beautiful mattes. So 15 pan eyeshadow palette, and I really love the way how this applied on my eyes. We are going to create 2 eye looks today, the eye looks that you're seeing today, and we are also going to do some live swatches. So let's begin. Let's start off with swatching this palette, because I feel like everybody's here for that. So let's swatch it. I'm going to go, let's do column by column like this, and let's see where we roll. The first shade is called Macaroon, which is like a pastel-y blue shade, like a very baby blue shade. Then we have the shade Curacao, which it's more like a pastel-y blue to a purple shifting shade, but definitely I can see a lot of holochromes. And the third shade is called Praline, which is like my skin tone shade, but very neutral in tone. I hope you can see that. Let's swatch these 3 shades. Very pretty, very creamy, very pastel-y. And then we have this Curacao shade. It's very smooth, but I can see so many like holochromy particles. And then we have the shade Praline, which is like my skin tone shade, just a little bit toned down and like lighter. Great for like blending the shade. So let me show you that. Look how beautiful it is. And you can see the duochrome coming through, blue to a purple. Very pastel leaning. There you go. Very pretty and very smooth too. Okay, let's move on to the next 3 shades. We have Tropicate, which is like this actually in the pan it doesn't look that pastel-y, but while swatching it's very pastel. It's like a pastel orange shade. And then we have the shade Bonbon, which looks magical. It's a stunning silver shade. And then we have the shade Muir, which is like a gray blue, like a muted blue, but deep in tone. So those are the 3 shades. So let's watch that. That shimmer swatches so beautifully. I'm going to just double swatch that orange, just so that you can see the tone a little better. There you go. And those are the next 3 shades. Very pretty, very pretty. Obviously I've done both the eye looks, and this is the orange that I did not use, but it was feeling a lot more like punchy, but because I did not swatch it. But now after swatching it, it looks very pastel-y. I'm very excited for that now. Okay, let's move on to the next 3 rows. We have green. This is another shade that I did not use. This is called Parfait. And then we have Grenadine, which is like a pink to a gold shifting shade. I really love the shifts that I can see. I see like a pink, gold, and a little bit of green too. I hope you'll see it when I swatch it. The next one is called Violet, which is like a pastel purple shade. So let's watch that. There you go. Oh, even this is very muted than I thought. Oh, I'm very happy about that. Okay, there you go. And those are the next 3 shades. Very pretty, very pretty. Okay, oh, I'm loving this. So pretty. And look at that shimmer. It shifts so beautifully. It's amazing. Love the way how this is turning out. Oh, so pretty. I cannot wait to do more looks with this palette. Okay, this is so pretty. Okay, let's move on to the next column. We have Rose, which is like a pastel-y pink, but a little bit more deeper, I would say. It's not like pastel, like a mid-tone pink. And then we have the shade Sorbet, which is like a blue to a purple shifting shimmer. It's very smooth on the eyes. And then we have the shade Truffles. When I'm swatching it, it feels a little dry. It's like a muted green, but with like a little bit of hint of a gray in it, right there. But on the eyes, this performed very, very nicely. Okay, so let's do that. So that's a rose. And that one is that shimmer Sorbet. And then we have that green shade, which is Truffles. And there you go. Those are the next 3 shades. So stunning. Loving the way how this swatched. Very, very pretty. This purple actually has like a blue purple, but also a green. Can you see that? That can create such a beautiful smoky eye with this like deeper green. Beautiful. Let's move on to the last column of the palette. We have Gourmande Raisin and Pistache. Gourmande is a baby blue. Again, a mid-tone baby blue. It's not like a pastel. And then we have a Raisin, which is like a mid-tone purple shade, like an orchid purple. And then we have the shade Pistache, which is a minty pastel-y green shade. Very, very pretty shades for a pastel palette. So let's watch that. So pigmented, you guys. That's amazing. Are you seeing this? Very pretty. So those are the shades of the palette. This looks so amazing. So amazing. I cannot wait for you guys to see this in action, because this it's just beautiful. So now let me show you all the swatches in the outside lighting too, because you need to see the shifts and the shine and the shimmer and the glimmer. Now, once you've seen everything in action, let's move on to the 2 looks using this palette. Let's do the first look with our palette. I'm so excited. This layout, definitely, there are so many tones that I do not have in my collection, like very unique tones, I would say. I've not swatched this palette as yet, so we are going to apply it on our eyes and see where we go. So let's begin. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but let's start. Okay, let's start off with the shade, this one, Muir, which is like a dusty blue shade. Looks very, very nice in the pan. I love a good, like, you know, a muted color story. They call this as their pastel palette, but it is like pastel leaning, I would say. I won't call it pastel. Like, according to me, I feel like this seems pastel, but rest, maybe this blue too. But other than that, I don't think anything is like pastel. It's definitely grayed down, muted, and some of them are very punchy too. There's definitely fallout, as you can see. So I'm just gonna pull that right in the outer corners. I should probably powder my under eyes. Let's do that, just so that it doesn't make a mess underneath my eyes. I'm just taking my Huda Beauty powder and just placing it underneath, just so that if there is anything, it just at least sits on top and I can just flick it out. Okay, so let's do that. I might look a little crazy, but that's okay. I love that shade, but like that blue, dusty blue shade, I can definitely see myself taking that and using that so much. Like, it's a beautiful denim blue kind of shade. I'm gonna take a smaller blending brush with that macaron shade, this blue. I want to use as many shades as I can, and then just blend the edges of that blue. I feel like this palette is gonna be really good for all matte looks too. Obviously, I've not used any shimmers as yet, so I don't know, but I feel like those 2 blues go so well together. Okay, now let's go into this purple, and then we'll blend it out with this purple. Okay, so we're taking the shade Raisin, And then we'll blend it out with violet right there. I'm focusing this mainly on the crease just to deepen it a tad bit. I'm going with a very light hand, by the way, because these shades are pigmented. I want to just slowly build and blend. Okay, I'm gonna take the smaller blending brush with that violet shade, the pastel-y, this, yeah. So, oof, oh my gosh, this and this, definitely pastels, okay? So let's go into the violet shade, which is purple leaning pastel. And just to blend the edges. Yeah, that's also blending really nicely. Doesn't seem chalky or anything. Generally pastels can be super chalky, but this is definitely blending extremely well. Okay, going back into that blue Muir shade and just placing it right there, melting it with that purple. So that's a beautiful blend going on right now. Let's apply some shimmers. Actually, before that, let's do the lower lash line. Now for the lower lash line, what are we doing? Let's take this rose shade, this one, and then we'll blend this out with that blue, just so that we connect everything out. This rose shade is definitely much more pink. Oh, very pretty shade. Like for an everyday look, that's a very nice shade. Like a muted neutral tone pink. Going back to Muir, just connecting that blue right there. Actually, that blue and this rose shade makes a beautiful purple shade. Oh, that's a beautiful blend. Okay, now let me just put some NYX glitter glue, because we have like a lot of mattes going on. I can take a little bit of help of the NYX glitter glue, and everything pops really nicely with NYX glitter glue. So let's do that. Okay, let's take the shade Sorbet, this one, and then we'll put this shade in the inner corners. This looks like, oh, this is so pretty. It's like a purple blue. Oh, that is so stunning. Not that I questioned ever a Gourmande Girls palette, because they have some amazing palettes. Oh my gosh, that's so stunning. That is very pretty, very pretty. Can you see that green coming through? That with that greens would also be amazing. Okay, anyways, going back into that Muir shade, the blue, and just melting the edges. And then going back into that purple raisin shade. Maybe melt it with that violet shade. And then just blending the edges. Okay, let's take that blue Caracao shade, this one. That will be so stunning as a standalone shade in the palette, because that looks magical. Magical. Okay, let's take that in the inner corners. That's so pretty, you guys. I'm just taking a little bit on my fingers, just tapping it right in the center of my eye, just for a subtle pop. I can feel this with like those denim blues. It's so amazing. Okay, let's finish off this eye with some liner and mascara, and we'll get right back. There you go. That's my first eye look. I really love the way how this eye turned out. Like, it's so very pretty. I cannot even tell you. I wasn't sure about this palette when I saw the color story, because it's like a jumbled up confetti kind of a layout. But this looks amazing. Let's dive into the second look and see what we come out with, okay? Now for the second eye, let's take the shade Truffles, which is the deeper green in the palette. Again, this is a green that I can definitely manage, because this is like a deeper but a muted green. Gonna tap off all the excess. Yeah, that's a stunning green. Stunning green. I'm just tapping the edges so that we can get the depth that we are looking for. Okay, I'm taking a smaller blending brush with this shade Praline. This looks like my skin tone shade. I'm just gonna try and blend the edges of this green with that Praline and see what it does. It's definitely softening the edges. I can see that, and melting it very, very nicely with my skin tone shade. Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, now let's take this shade Pistache, and I'm gonna take that. That is a pastel green. I think a white base would be amazing, but I'm just gonna do it like that just because I don't want too much of brightness. But this is amazing. Look at that. It's definitely showing up on my skin, so that's amazing. Actually, you know what? This thing, like the shade with the purple in the palette, this one, Raisin, these two would be amazing, amazing. I'm also going to take a little bit of this in the inner corners because I'm loving that shade. Especially as an inner corner pop, it'll be amazing. Going back into that green truffles, melting it with that pastel green, taking a smaller blending brush with Praline again, and just softening everything out. I cannot help myself not to use that purple with it. It's so pretty. That minty shade, amazing. Let's take that purple, Raisin shade, this one. And I'm gonna take this blue shade right in the center of this greens. Let's see where it goes. It might go super crazy, but we'll see. Again, such a stunning blue. That's amazing. I'm taking the same blue on a smaller blending brush, Gourmande shade, the sky blue shade here. And I'm also going to take that as a blending shade for that purple on the lower lash line. Okay, that's beautiful. And I'm going to take that Bonbon shade, this one, the silvery tone shade. It's so bright, oh my gosh. Okay, and let's take that. This is stunning. This can just take any look to a glam look within seconds. And I'm gonna take the last shimmer shade, Grenadine, the pink shimmer. And this looks like a pink to a gold. I don't know if it'll match or not, but we'll see. And melt it with that silver tone. It creates more of like that baby pink. And I like pinks with greens a lot. So I think that will match. And it makes it a little bit more like mauve, like a cool tone pink. Now, I'm just going to take that brush with the deeper green, truffles, and just tapping on the edges. Again, just so that we don't lose the depth and everything is seamless. Okay, I'm going to finish off this eye with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. And that is my second eye look. I love the way how this also turned out. I cannot even believe that I've started loving mints and greens, okay? The only shade that I've not used in this palette is this shade called Tropicate. The font is a little difficult to read, okay? This orangey, yellowy shade. Orangey, I would say. Kind of shade, but rest everything I've used on my two looks, and I am very, very impressed. Like, I love Gourmande Girls quality. That's absolutely no doubt. I do like the packaging too. I felt like very summery. It felt like very springy vibes. I don't expect like a pastel palette in like a summer and a fall season. Says who? Who's me? But this looks very nice. Like there are a lot of tones that are very unique to my collection, like especially this green, this blue. I also feel like, oh, actually we did not use this green, right? Oh, so there are two shades that we did not use, Parfait and Tropicate. these two shades. And actually, when I open this palette, the shade that intimidates me is this green. But otherwise, I also feel like this can be used so well with this green. And even like these two greens would be amazing together. This with pink would be amazing together. This with blue would be amazing together. I love that they included two deepening shades. I really love it, okay? I really love it. I did not think that I would love this palette so much just because of the confetti layout. My eyes are like all over the place. It would have, I think, made a little bit more like, of course, the choices are endless with this palette, but if like there was a green here and then there was like the mid-tone green and then the dark tone green, similarly with the blues, if there was like a lighter tone blue, then the shimmery blue, and then the darker blue, I think it would have like flowed better. But I mean, confetti layout definitely like makes my mind just boggle around and think like, what should I do? What should I apply next? But everything quality wise felt absolutely wonderful. The shade that were chosen, especially like the shimmer, look at that shimmer. It's twinkling and shining so beautifully. And I feel like that Bonbon shade on top of any like other shimmer would also help it to like sparkle and shine. Let me see. I'm just gonna tap it right on top of that purple, just to give a little bit more of a shimmery effect. Yeah, see? Now it became like a very shimmery purple. I love it. I really, really love it. I love the way how both of these eyes turned out. Definitely like so pretty, so pastel-y. Like on my eyes, it definitely looks pastel as soon as you apply those like three pastel shades. This blue, this green, this purpley shade. But everything is like very muted down, and that's what I really like. I really have loved this palette. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Are you gonna pick up this palette or not? It retails again for $45 and it launches on August 12th. You can use my code SMITHYSONY to save you 10% off on their website. And I really think that if you are looking for like a muted but a colorful palette, this is gonna be amazing. And the ice cream theme, so cute, so cute. But that's all for today, guys. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post things. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.